What is food chasing? Hi, Carrie Nygaard here. I have helped hundreds, thousands of women even through my workshops to learn how to be consistently in control with food. I've helped hundreds of women in my program to find freedom with their body and with food, to learn how to become a normal eater, to be able to exercise their brain in such a way that they manage their brain around food and not the other way around. Food chasing is when you go from one food to another food to another food. You're chasing food in an effort to get a feeling that you're seeking. So what it might look like, usually it'll happen in the afternoon or in the evenings. We usually don't food chase in the morning because we're fresh, we're relaxed, or we've already, we don't, the day hasn't piled up on us, so to speak. So the way food chasing works is that maybe you think, ooh, I know what sounds good. Something kind of salty sounds good. So you go grab a bag of chips out of your pantry. I'm in my pantry right now. And you have some of those and they're good, but you think, still here, right? Let's say that you're feeling stressed and you have some chips, right? You're feeling stressed, you have some chips. Oh no, still feeling stressed. I know that food didn't solve for it. So then you go grab something sweet like dried fruit and you have some of that and you think, that didn't quite work for me. So then you think, oh, maybe I want some popcorn. Or then you might be wandering over to your freezer and open and think, is there something sweet in my freezer that I could have? And you might open your freezer and look inside and maybe find some ice cream and eat some of that. And then you think, oh, that didn't do it for me. Maybe I want some nuts, and back and forth you go. Here's the thing. When you food chase, what happens is that eventually what's going on is that you're trying to get something from the food that it does not have the power to give you. Food does not have the power to solve for your emotions. Now, there are times where it serves as a good distraction from your emotions, but food doesn't actually take away the anxiousness or the stress. Food doesn't actually get rid of the boredom longer than just the moment that it takes to eat it. And then you're right back where you began, or worse, because maybe you've overate and now you're feeling out of control with food. Food chasing oftentimes shows up, binging oftentimes shows up when we're trying to avoid emotions or when we're trying to create emotion. Maybe we're bored and we're trying to feel entertained. It can show up for lots of different ways, but it's an effort to solve for our emotions with the food. It's just not very dependable, or it doesn't do a very good job with it. Now, I will concede there are times, let's say you've had a hard day and a nice warm cup of something to drink, or maybe you're not feeling well and you have a nice nutritious warm bowl of soup and it feels comforting and good, and your brain remembers this. So that when you feel uncomfortable, or maybe you're struggling with another emotion, your brain's like, I know the answer. Let's go to the food to solve for this, because remember that time when that really felt good? Now, this isn't happening up here in your consciousness. This is all programmed thinking that's going on. And over 90% of our thoughts, of our behavior, is created by this automated thinking that's going on in our subconscious or lower brain. What I want you to realize is that any behavior that you have with food is not reason to feel shame. Your brain is hardwired for survival, and your brain is hardwired to avoid pain and to seek out pleasure. And we all have to eat in order to survive. It's not like we can just cut out food. Some people who struggle with alcohol, they can just cut out alcohol. We can't do that with food. So what I want to propose to you, the solution to food chasing, which also leads to overeating and binging and those out of control, yucky habits with food, is emotional awareness. When we can get awareness over our emotions and have understanding of this is the question, what am I seeking to create? What am I trying to get from the food? And if you're feeling stressed, maybe you're trying to find comfort in the food. But food's actually not very good at giving you comfort longer than a short minute. And then you're back to worse off than you were when you began. So when you're emotionally aware, you get awareness of what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you're seeking, and then you solve for the actual emotion. Perhaps you just need to sit and learn how to feel the emotion, which can feel really scary for the for the most people, because they've never been taught how to feel a feeling. They think that a feeling, if you pay attention to it, will get so large it will overtake you. That's not true. Emotional awareness is knowing what to do with your emotions so that you can solve for them in a way in which they actually do resolve. So I teach women in my program how to find emotional awareness. I also teach parts of emotional awareness in my free workshop called In Control with Food, or my webinar called The 4 Steps to Food and Body Peace. I'm always teaching about emotional awareness because food has an emotional component to it, because we've been taught in our culture to go to food to solve for our emotions. So first and foremost, stop giving yourself such a hard time with your behaviors around food. If you find yourself food chasing, going from something sweet to something salty, you're trying to, and it doesn't have to necessarily go from sweet to salty, but that's one key indicator that you're probably food chasing. You're seeking an experience or a distraction. You're trying to create an emotion or avoid an emotion with food. So if you find yourself food chasing, stop and ask yourself, what is it that I'm seeking to create with this food? And an example would be comfort. What actually gives me comfort? Maybe I want to cuddle up in a blanket and read a good book. Maybe I just need to journal. Maybe I need to do some deep breathing to calm my nervous system. Maybe a warm bath would actually give me comfort. And on the other side, there wouldn't be the discomfort of overeating and binging. All right, check the description, like and subscribe if you want to hear more of my food and body tips. Bye.